Unlike most people, or most basketball players, started playing outdoors and just kind of gaining a love for the game organically just by watching NBA. A few friends started liking the game, asked me to get kind of involved with it. So, and then I would just kind of go outside, go outdoors, and play. I grew up in Toronto, so Vince Carter was a big idol of mine. I would watch Vince and then kind of emulate his style of play. Um, but yeah, no, basketball, I was a little bit of a late bloomer. Started playing halfway through high school, and that's when I really started taking the game pretty seriously. I started, kind of focusing on more basketball drills and then trying to do them outside. And that's kind of how it started for me. It was a slow start, but then later on I started to really fall in love with it, fall in love with getting better, seeing the improvement in my game. And I just kept on going after that.
How's your high school in IMG Academy?
No, the thing about IMG Academy that now in 2025, it's actually pretty, it's world renowned. It seems like a hot spot for a lot of young amateur basketball players to go and expand their game. When I went there, it was roughly 2010, 2011, and it wasn't that known for basketball at the time. So I kind of flew under the radar in that regard. But when I was there, it was fun. It was a great experience. I kind of heard about it because a guy that I went to high school with, he ended up going there. And he kind of was basically relaying to me how good of an experience it was, and it's something I should really take a look at. So I started reading up more about it, and then I ended up getting a half scholarship. My parents, God bless them, because they didn't have to do this, but they really invested a lot in me at that time. And yeah, went to IMG, met a lot of high-level athletes, and that experience alone kind of was a little bit of an eye-opener, because I grew up in Canada. This is my first time being exposed to how they train and how they actually view the sport in the U.S. And there's a reason why America is so good. Like all their athletes, they produce some really high-level athletes, is because the focus on the training. Recovery, everything is just on an elite level. So when you have that in place, it's easy to produce pretty good athletes. So no, very, very fortunate to have my time there. Met a lot of NBA players, NFL players, MLB players, because it wasn't just basketball. It's a multi-sport facility. So yeah, down the line, it was short. My time there was short. It was less than a year, but the impacts kind of stuck with me forever throughout my career and until now.
Why you choose Arellano?
That's a good question. Arellano was I didn't really know or understand the landscape of collegiate basketball in the Philippines at the time, and what had happened was I was playing in a Pinoy tournament in the U.S. in Houston, and my tito is the one that reached out to Leo Isaac at the time. He was the coach of Arellano. He came down to Houston, and he came down to scout myself, and my friend, one of my brothers, AJ Sergiu. So we were kind of like a package deal, and once he saw us, he gave us an offer, and I said I don't really want to pass up this opportunity. I didn't want to. I knew I wanted to go to the Philippines. I wasn't too sure what path I was going to take or what school. But when they kind of offered me a scholarship, I said, you know what, I'm going to take it and see where this goes. But previously, I made a trip to Manila, and I'm sure this story has gotten out. I was trying, my first time in Manila, I was trying out with some pretty big name schools like Ateneo, LaSalle, on the UAAP side, and then for NCAA, I was trying out with Sambera and San Sebastian. Um, my close friend, he was John Samira. He was playing with Baste at the time. He was playing with the Pinatubo trio of Ian Sangalang, Calvin Abueva, and Ronald Pascual. So that was my first exposure. I started going to their practices, and I saw Calvin at a really, when the beast was so raw. But I just remember his energy and his motor in those practices. Right, we all know what Calvin Abueva brings to the table, and I was just I was taken aback at how physical, how tactical basketball was being played in the Philippines. But for the most part, it was his energy where I was just like, wow, like it's really it's a different ball game, but I'm intrigued. So, um, but yeah, no, I was at an age where I wasn't fully ready to make a move from Canada to the Philippines. So I think that's the reason why I passed up on those schools, those like top name schools. Um, and then Zoom later, about 2-3 more years later, I decided to go to Arellano and then carve out my own path. So that's what ended up happening. How I went to Arellano.
How's experience playing in NCAA?
It was great. Um, yeah, no, it was great. I had aspirations to play NCAA in the U.S. Like I after IMG, I wanted to play Division I or D2, something, but never got the chance to. And I feel like NCAA Philippines was the basically kind of substituted for that experience. Games were televised. You have university college pride from the fans. I loved playing at San Juan Arena. It came to a point where that was like legitimately my playground. I loved playing there. Loved the energy from our fan base. So the Arellanites, I think that's what they call them. But no, it was just fun. I wasn't expecting too much. Back in the day, I just kind of just wanted to play basketball. When you're young and you don't really have expectations. The fun was just playing the sport, right? And this is my first time playing in front of like a pretty big crowd. So I really did feed off of that kind of energy. I don't do it anymore at all, but back in the day, I'm always throwing up 3 signs and playing to the crowd. But overall, it was such a good experience. I have a lot of fond memories from playing in the NCAA. Yeah, loved all of my Arellano teammates. Still keep in touch with some of them today. So definitely a part of my life that there was a lot of growth in that time. Coach Coy Vidal kind of made me a team captain. These were my first experiences with leading a team, being a vocal leader, not just one that's kind of leading by example. So from a growth aspect, I think it was really, really beneficial, and it was really, in that time of my life, my career, it was super, it was definitely beneficial. I know I use that word, but like that's no way else to explain it. It was something that needed to happen in order to get to where I wanted to go. So I understood that, and didn't have the outcome that we wanted. Definitely wanted to win a few more games, make a Final Four push, but that's sometimes it's not in the cards. So.
How's the feeling drafted by Ginebra?
A feeling. That feeling is can't really explain. It was surreal, and sometimes just the aspect of working towards something and having a goal in your life and then finally achieving it. And have your whole family there. It's funny because I was really reminiscing about it. I was actually looking at the draft the other day because it happened on November 3rd, 2013. So, it was a few days ago, about 12 years ago, was when I got drafted. But I remember it like it was yesterday. Like I said, my whole family was there to support. A lot of teammates that I had on Cagayan and that I've just met, they were all there getting drafted. So just to be around all those players and everybody who was kind of hearing their name called and everybody was achieving their dream, it was a special moment in time. And but moreover, specifically being drafted by that team, right? Being drafted by Ginebra, crowd favorite, it was a really, really like sitting down praying, because my agents actually kind of gave me the word that I was going to get drafted there. But like, you don't really know until you actually officially get your name called, right? So I was even thinking that I still might have gone to a Barangay Bowl or Alaska or one of the Global Port, one of those teams. But ended up being drafted by Ginebra, and yeah, one of the best days of my life.
How's experience playing in the PBA?
My PBA experience, it had its ups and downs. If anybody's like really followed my career, there's kind of like a PBA fan, you would know that it wasn't ideal on some teams and some situations. But at the same time, I was humbled. I was really I was actually pretty grateful. Looking back on it now, I'm grateful for every single year, every single season, every conference, because every single moment of that time, my time in the PBA, was a chance for me to learn and grow and understand how, like being in a professional setting. This is professional basketball, and I learned a lot from teammates to coaching staffs to even higher ups, from how they operate things from a management standpoint. So, now I'm a little bit older and I see things in a different light. I look back and I am the way I am today is because of my PBA experience. So, like I said, ups and downs, but you could always get positives out of experiences. So I look back and I always try and just like think about all the positive things that came out of it. I.e., there's a lot of basketball players in this world, and I was just fortunate enough to be picked and to actually call myself a professional basketball player, and that's something I don't take for granted. The PBA gave me that chance, gave me that title, and yeah, even now, all up until now, it's really been a big part of my life. It's been a big part of my identity. So, very, very grateful for my time in the PBA. Wish there was a little bit more that I could have done, and that's only just from personal, personal aspirations. I thought that I could have given up so much more in terms of just like my play, everything that I was capable of doing, and I still am pretty capable of playing at a high level. But yeah, no, I take all the lessons learned, and then I use it to my everyday life right now. So, all in all, it was a great experience.
Who is PBA teammate you learned the most?
I played on I played on quite a bit of teams. I want to say, like, off the top of my head, like, at least 6, 7. No, I didn't even mean to do the 6, 7 thing, but like it was almost about 6, 7 teams. But just off the top of my head, I feel like I have to give them their respect. They're part of the 50 greatest PBA players of all time. But not a lot of people could get drafted to a team with players like Mark Aguila and JJ Elterman, right? So no, the Fast and Furious, I don't know how much they realized it, but I was really, really just kind of like watching their every move and seeing how they conducted themselves in practice, and how they showed me the real meaning of a pro basketball player. Because my first couple weeks, there was a transition period where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, man, this is not NCAA anymore. These are legit hoopers. Everybody is here for a reason. So yeah, no, I would say JJ, because when I joined the team, JJ was on the tail end of, somewhat on the tail end of his career. I know that he could have still played very, very well. He expected to get a little bit more playing time, but I think he was at a crossroads in his career where things, he was going into roles where he might have not have liked, but that's just like the ebb and flow of your careers, right? Like if you get a little bit older and you have to make room for other guys to step up. So, but just like seeing how he would go at me during practice, like it seemed like almost it was a personal thing. And looking back on it now, it's just a matter of like he wanted to maintain his job and his position on the team, and he would stop at nothing. So looking back on it, I do respect that from a basketball player standpoint. I respect it quite a bit. And then there is Mark, who I pick up a lot from his moves and his style of play. Um, you know, on the latter end of 35 now, and I find myself doing a lot of Mark Aguirre fadeaways and floaters on the baseline and stuff like that. So um, he actually, one of the biggest things I've got from him is just like being able to play out of the post as a guard. He's one of the best post guards I've ever played with. Probably had just as a refined post game as most big men. So it was really good. But yeah, no, learning a lot from Mark Aguirre, JJ Helterbrand. I can't name those names without shouting out LA. He was he was definitely like the leader of that team at the time. I admire the fact that the Iron Man was real. Like, he didn't miss anything. His dedication to his routine. Never missed an ice bath. Like, always icing his knees, always taking care of his body. And I admire that a lot. So those small things of being a pro, those bits and pieces, I would just observe and then just like slowly start implementing it with my own crafting. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot from those three. And then moving forward, there's probably a player on every team that I played with that I tried to pick up a little bit off of. But off the top of the head, those three guys, learned quite a bit.
If you get a chance at playing time, you think you can be star player?
Absolutely. When I read this question, I was wondering how confident I want to answer this. But no, I won't back down at all. I thought if I had playing time, I mean, if I had the kind of minutes that I had in the NCAA, I was dubbed kind of like a superstar then. But no, I have a lot of confidence in my abilities. Maybe at the time I was a little bit too young and my game wasn't as matured, and I would let a lot of outside noise get into my head. And it's tough too, right? Like my experiences there were a little bittersweet because I feel like I was never with a right team or a right coaching staff that really wanted to foster my development. A lot of, and rightfully so, when you get to the professional level, these are kind of things that you have to be able to do on your own, right? People aren't going to hold your hand through the process, but no, I knew I was a work in progress, and to answer your question, if I had playing time on a team, just for example, if we were to switch, let's just say hypothetically, if Terrence was to go to Ginebra and I would have landed in his position on global court, I have, and if I was getting the minutes, I have no doubts in my mind that I would have developed into a star player like that. Even all up until now, I still feel like I could walk onto a PBA court right now and probably score double digits, defend well, especially now, all these years that have passed, and these are just like kind of younger guys, although the game has changed. I haven't been there in quite a bit, but that's just a testament of my confidence in my own self and what I bring to the table. I put a lot of work into my game, so it's unfortunate. These are the type of things I wish could have happened, but it is what it is, and you kind of move forward. I'm very, very happy with, and I'm very content with everything in my life right now, and I wish some things would have went differently in the career, i.e. this, more playing time, but it turned me into a better person, I feel. Made me a more patient person and understood the business side of sports a lot more. It's something I think about, but not gonna keep me too down. But yeah, for sure, I'm pretty sure I would have been a star player if I got the playing time.
Why you choose number 9?
I feel like I was kind of forced. Originally, I chose the number 1 because I was a big Derrick Rose fan. So I chose the number 1 when I got drafted by Ginebra, and I remember on Twitter, I hopped onto Twitter, and there's ever. You have to change your number. Please, please change your number. Please don't disrespect Baldavid. So I only wore that number for one conference, and then the following conference, I remember changing my number to number 9. The reason being is because number 9 was worn by a lot of my favorite players in the Olympics and international play. I felt like I was playing internationally. I was playing in the Philippines, playing with the Molten Ball. Vince Carter wore number 9 in the Olympics when he dunked over Frederick Wise. Dwayne Wade wore number 9 when he was on the Redeem team. And just even in the NBA, I idolized Tony Parker, Rajon Rondo, those kind of point guards. They all wore number 9. Andre Iguodala is another guy that I kind of tried to take a little bit from his game. So it was more so just from people that I idolize, and then the number itself. At that time, there's a great change in my life, and number 9 represents change. It's the last number before you get into double digits with number 10 and stuff like that. So I did my research on the number, and I felt like it was appropriate time. Another thing is, like, I'm from Toronto, so it's just a 6 upside down. So those were all reasons why I kind of chose the number, or chose to rock that number.
How's your professor career started?
Yeah, no, this was something that I didn't really have on my radar. All the opportunities that I've had post basketball career have all happened organically, but have all happened because of my resume, my basketball resume from the Philippines. So I initially got the lead assistant coaching job first. Once a friend of mine I kind of met loosely a couple years ago, just through some mutual friends. He ended up getting the head coaching job, and then gave me a call, and basically the first call, and said, "Hey, if you're not doing anything, like, please help me out." And I said, "Sure." So first I started coaching with him, and that was all a great experience. We've been doing that for about 2 years now, and then just recently, the school kind of asked me to teach a couple courses, and I kind of told them that I don't really have much of a background to do it, but after doing some quick tutorials, just kind of like to catch me up to speed, got myself into this position. So now I'm teaching a basketball course. It's a full-on course about the game, which is something I am pretty knowledgeable about. I teach it to a pretty diverse group of students. Ages are ranging from everywhere. It's a physical education course, so there's a lot of aspiring gym teachers and youth, educators in there. So I'm just trying to make the course fun, trying to spread the love and joy that I have for this game to others, so they could kind of lead and use the sport to teach the youth as well. So that's how I kind of stumbled upon this position now, and I'm loving it. I feel like I'm making a difference, helping others, and definitely passing on all the knowledge that I know through the game of basketball and passing it on to others.
Thank you for watching.